I'm getting fired up. I'm getting energized. Getting excited. This is just the beginning. I'm looking at myself on my camera, thinking about how cheesy I look, thinking about if I'm have a perfect setup, if the lighting's good, if I'm looking good, if I'm too loud, if my voice sounds bad, making sure that I remember to have my microphone plugged into my microphone plugged into my camera, and also my audio mic on so I can see. Looks like we're going good. Recorder's on. So it's going to be a big one. I don't know if this is the place that I want to do it, but this is the place that I'm doing it. The difference between the person who you want to be and the person who you are now is quite simple in my eyes, and at least for me, it's being able to get into my discomfort, get over my comfort, get out of my comfort zone, being able to talk about my life and feel confident in talking about my life. I'm a very confident person when you meet me in real life. I'm a very confident person when it comes to all aspects of my life. Besides this one, this is where I find it a bit more challenging to be able to find confidence. I don't know if it's just because I don't have an actual person behind the camera there. I know that hopefully there's a few of you watching behind the camera, but you know what I mean? There's nobody behind me watching. There's nobody in my room here. And I don't mean that in a way in which I want somebody to come here and watch me and be on me and, making me get to the next level, because that's not their job. That's my job, right? That's your job, to be the next version of yourself, to get to where you want to go. I didn't mean to start this off with a little bit of an encouragement rant. I do find that I do kind of go on to that tangent of just how to get from point A to point B. And it's funny, I can do that for most people. If anybody comes up to me and they want to talk to me and they have a problem or an issue or a question, I can usually guide them in the right direction. I can usually, kind of lay it out for them step by step. And, of course, everybody's different. So I approach everybody's situation different when people do come up and ask questions. And it's really funny, I can do that very easily for others. But when it comes to myself, I know what I have to do. I know where I have to go. I know the direction that I kind of want to take. And then when it comes back to this is kind of the end goal right here. And it's not the end goal, I should pause there. But it's not the end goal for me as like, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be famous. I want to, it's more so I just want to have a presence on social media. But moreover, the presence of bringing my perspectives, bringing my understanding, bringing my experience, bringing my struggles, going over things that I've been through in my life that are quite unique to me. I mean, everybody's unique. I'm not saying you're not unique. I'm sitting here being as though I'm 24 years old. I have, had my ups and downs with my physical and mental health. I'm not going to go down the path of just mental health and saying mental health is the issue and that's been my issue. I've struggled. I mean, we've all struggled. Everybody's struggled. Everybody's been stressed. Everybody has anxiety. If it's one little piece at a time or a little bit here at a time, like everybody still experiences that to some degree. To be fair, I very rarely experience anxiety and also stress, more so because I've just kind of not allowed that to be in my life. Yes, there's stressful moments. Yes, I go to work every day. Yes, I have to do things that I don't want to do, that do stress me out, that do, put pressure on me. But I don't look at that as a bad thing, and I try to also make sure I have some sort of realization when I'm in those moments. Right? Kind of taking that step back, looking at myself, being like, why am I so stressed? Why am I so anxious? Why am I, worrying about stuff that doesn't matter? Stuff that's not even here right now. We all do that. We look into the future and we're like, oh gosh, oh no, what's gonna happen? What am I doing? What do I have to do? And it's just, sorry for that interruption. I'm trying to keep a white screen on my computer so that way I have a little bit more white light coming at me. As you can tell, working on the lighting, moving forward with it. But I think this, to kind of sum up where I was going with this is kind of my video where I wanted to talk about a little bit about self-judgment and kind of that perspective part for self-judgment. Hopefully, I can give. A little backstory. I'm a pretty fit person. I've been fit my whole life. I have always chosen to be fit. It is a choice, just like you have a choice to sit at home, like you have a choice to not post on social media, like you have a choice not to watch this. Everybody has choices that we all make, and my choices that I've made for my life has always been to be healthy. And, when your goal is to be the healthiest as you can and, you're healthiest as possible, those goals will line up with your fitness level. Those goals will line up with your mental health level. Those will line up all together and come together, and they'll inform you to be the best version of yourself. And that's been my path. That's been my journey. That's all I've wanted to do. Yes, you're going to see moments where I'm not feeling the best. Maybe I get sick. Maybe I have an MS flare. Maybe, there's certain situations, somebody passes away. There's going to be moments where you're not going to be feeling the best and you're not going to be doing the best. And that's life. And it's not about triangulating on the fact of I need to be happy, I need to be positive all the time. It's about creating certain steps for you to get to, so you can get to one level, to the next level, to the next level. It's not about being the best all the time and trying to be better than others or trying to prove yourself better than others. And that's a place where I struggled with for a little while. Growing up as a man, as a male, being physically active, being in sports. I played hockey all my life. I was, in track and field all my life, cross country. I enjoyed those things. I played soccer. I have my fair share of sports that I played, and I was competitive. I played rep or, competitive hockey. I, did that since I could remember. I started skating when I was 3. My parents, my mom in particular, she put me into hockey, and it was great. And I loved it. And it's something that I'm so grateful for, that my mom got me on the path and started me young of being physically active and wanting me to do something other than, playing video games or watching TV or, I can't even describe some of these activities because they don't coincide with that same ecosystem. I do play video games, and I do read books, and I do study, and I do have, a diploma, and I do, have these things that people would say, oh, jocks or certain things don't do that. But I have done those things, but it's more or less I don't sit and wait for things to change in my life for the better. I take action. And I've learned to take action because I've learned so many times that I've had to. I get to the point where I'm feeling good. I look amazing. I have the 6-pack. I have, the shred on. I got muscles. I know he's like, this guy's false news. I can't see anything. He's wearing a long sleeve shirt. But this isn't the time for me to start showing my flexing. If you want to see that I'm fit and healthy, go check out my social medias. Not flexing it, not trying to plug it, but go take a look at that. This is not what this is for. This is for you getting the understanding and perspective of you need to take the action to get to where you want to go. And that action is going to have a lot of judgment on yourself. And that judgment is going to be primarily from you and from your own inner voice and your own perspective. But also there'll be some other people's voices in your head. Maybe your parents, maybe some close friends, maybe people who you do value their opinions, like maybe some teachers that you've had in your life, some mentors. And, it throws you off because it's not who you are. And yes, all these people help, and all these people are great to have in your life. Mentors are amazing. Good teachers are even better. And, unfortunately, they're hard to come by. Having great parents and great family around you, that's a luxury. That's amazing. That is like, you hit the lottery if you have that. And a lot of people don't. And I'm very lucky that I do, And, with saying that, I also have a lot of family members that I just don't like, that I also don't care to talk to, that also don't care to talk to me. And that's it. I'm not going to dread it. I'm not going to get upset over it. I'm not going to, pin that on me. That's not on me. That's not on you. It's not on me. It's not on you if somebody doesn't like you. And this world is full of people who don't like you. There's probably lots of people who watch this who just don't like me. And they might not like me for some reason, and that's their own. I think my piece that I've been trying to get to, that I keep kind of circling, and I'm sorry for that. I gotta get better at this and figure out how to simplify what I want to go into. But I think kind of starting this off with just kind of talking to get to my points kind of helps to hopefully make some sense to where I'm coming from. But back onto the reality of just me being healthy and physical fitness and, trying to eat as healthy as possible and trying to be as healthy as possible. I do all those things, and yet my body still says, look at this guy. Look at this guy. This guy thinks he's fit. This guy thinks he's eating healthy. This guy, look at this guy. He's all positive. He's got no negative. All right, you know what we're going to do this week? Call the boss. All right. Okay, make sure his vision goes blurry. Make sure it's hard for him to walk upstairs. And throw in that his last MRI, his specialist will say that he's not going to be able to run again. Okay, add that to his list. Okay, thanks. Yeah, that happens. I wake up some weeks, I wake up some days, and I'm fucked. I don't want to swear. I don't want to get into swearing. I want to try to avoid it, but it's the best way to describe it. And you know what I do? When I get to those hard times, those voices come out. Those voices from others. Those voices from that aren't me. That is my own comfort zone, my own ego that's saying, oh, don't worry. You'll be fine. You'll get back to normal. Don't worry. Then there's those voices that say, what happens if you don't get back to normal? What happens if you can't walk? What are people going to think about you? What are people going to say about you? And then there's those voices of, wow, this ain't shit. It's whatever, is what it is. And that's the voice that I try to live by and live through and speak through. But when it is what it is, catches up to you, it can still sting. I don't think I had the most, the clearest direction for this video, but I kind of just found it right there. The power that you get from being vulnerable to yourself and accepting who you are, and moreover, accepting your situation, no matter what that is. No matter if you are struggling financially, whether or not you're struggling with a disability, a disease, whether or not you're struggling with mental health issues, with problems that are coming on, through work, through just your daily life, any health issues that you're going through. We're all going to have these struggles, and we're all going to have these constantly, no matter what. No matter how healthy you are, no matter how fit you are, no matter how much armor you try and put on yourself, life plays the funny game as it will always check you and keep you in check. And it does to me. And it does to me quite often. And it's hard. It's hard, man. It's hard to do that bounce back. But this is the key. If we can find where we can help make that bounce back a bit easier, where we can make a plan and execute on that plan when we need that bounce back, when we need that jump start, when we need the battery's dead in the car, let's go, let's start it, we need to have that developed. We need to create that. Moreover, we need to have a structure around us to support that. Whether that's great friends, whether that's amazing family members, whether that's colleagues, just people you talk to who are close to you. You need to have that around you. You need to have that with you. You need to have somebody be able to keep you in check when you're starting to slide. Because we will all slide. And we will always, life is like this, ups and downs, right? And the parts where we get caught is when we get the downs. And the parts where we also get caught is when we're about to go up. Because any little thing can hit us right back down. But we have to also get to that point where we can make ourselves aware of that and understand that that's life, but understand our own situations and be fair to ourselves and go from there. I will speak to myself on this as I was always hard on myself. And not in a bad way, but in a way in which it pissed me off when my doctor said I wasn't able to run. And you know what I did? I was like, fuck that, I'm going to go run. But I tried to fight that. And that doesn't do anything. The hardest part for me is more or less the judgment from myself on myself. And that judgment isn't negative, but it's more or less just what am I going to do? What happens if I can't walk? It's scary. It's not easy. What happens if I can't do what I used to do? From everything. From, being able to go for a walk in the sun, from being able to go for a run, from being able to eat proper food, to being able to control all of my extremities, from my legs to my hands to my arms, from being able to breathe properly. That the judgment on myself there is more or less the side of the side of the voice in my head that speaks to the ego of the safety and the comfort and says, oh, don't worry, everything will be okay, but maybe you won't be able to do this, and maybe you'll have to not do this, and maybe you have to relax on this. But it's hard. It's hard when you're somebody who is driven. It's hard when you're somebody who knows the value of life. I'm not really an emotional person. I say that being able to understand and know all the emotions. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I've been through my ups and downs. I've been through my life and death situations. I've had lots of them. I've lived a life, and I'm 24, or 23, turning 24 in a couple weeks. But you gotta stop judging, and you gotta put a plan together for yourself. I think I've ranted on too long now, but thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to leave a comment down below on anything you want to talk about or need help with at all. I'm just learning how to do this. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm looking at examples from people, and I'm looking at certain creators, and I want to have a voice. I want to share my voice and share what I've done and share what I've gone through, but also share how to be the best version of yourself, because that's who I am, that's all I am, and that's what I've done my whole life. It's made myself the best version of myself. And I want you to join in. I want you to be a part of creating that version of yourself that you never thought was possible. But I want that impossible to become possible. And I hope and wish and believe that what I can provide with my perspectives, from my voice, I hope you listen. I hope it translates to you in success. I hope it makes you feel and gives you that fire to want to live life to the max, because you never know how long you're going to be on this playing field for. You never know how long the game's going to go. With that being said, I love you all, and I'm signing out. Have a blessed day. Peace out.